Alrighty, welcome back. We've done a bit more. Me and Jolene were out here last night. After the auction, we watched the auction. It was kind of cool to see hear how the Merc go for so much money. It's a lot of money, but let's face it, it's something that it's a lot of history, and for someone to own that, it deserves to have. It deserves to have the price it had, I guess. I'm not sure. But it's nice to see that someone appreciates it as much as the rest of the world does. There's a lot of people who appreciates that car. And the reason being is because, it's where it started. It's where it started, so it deserves what it gets. And it was really good to see the price that it got. But me and Jolene right now have come back out. We've put the brakes on. We've greased the bearings. We put the seal in the back of the rotor. We put the bracket on, put the dust plate on, put the caliper on. We made sure that our bleeder screw's at the top. And the reason being is air rises to the top. We have the brake shoes on this side. We did not put the brake shoes on this side. We kind of quit after a while. Basically, we've got the brakes on it. This is the first time that the brakes have been on it. So if Jolene wants to show off her brakes, that's what she has. There's a 4-piston caliper caliper on it. She's got rotors for brakes. It's not brake shoes, it's brake pads. But anyways, if I get my words mixed up, you can tell the difference, no problem at all. But right now I'm just going to put this little piece on here. It holds the brake shoes in nice and or brake pads, excuse me. And I'm just going to put this on, finish this up. Going to put the airbags back on. Going to put the airbags back on. Going to put some chrome shocks on, just give some visual. And basically we'll see what we can get done within the time. And also we've unmasked the front wheels. We have not tried them on yet, so I'm wondering if it's going to fit the caliper or not. And that's one thing that we do not know yet, and we did not try. We just did not try yet. Wasn't what we were doing right at the present moment. Just going to put that on the back of there. Get this geared up. Pull that off a little bit. And that's just to hold them in place, I would say. All right, excuse me, Jolene. I just want to get a ratchet here. I'm thinking they're 7/16. A little extension on that. We'll put the brake pads on the other side. It looks really nice. Every piece is going in nice. We're using Loctite on all the bolts and nuts just to make sure. Not these ones though. What are
these things for?
Well, they're actually what's going on. There's a piece on the other side. I'll show you. Jolene's asked me a question, and I want to answer. I guess it's an it's still the brake pads do not fall out, and there's a piece there that pushes on the brake pads that like a spring almost that keeps them nice and tight, and that just pushes them in, so that keeps the brake pads nice and tight in on the rotor. I probably could have put some anti-seize on those. Probably could have. Probably should have. And I still can. I can take it back off, but I want to put them on for now. Basically, we'll get the chassis, we'll get it geared up, get it on its wheels, and try to push it in the paint room and try to do something else for a little bit. It's hard to stay on this full time. We've been on it for quite a while now, off and on. And I'd like to, probably should have some anti-seize on them and do it right now, I suppose. Probably the best time. Anti-seize. Just gonna set it there. Just need a little tiny bit. That's all. We need the brake pads. come together really nice. I think it is. It's looking nice. And I will say, when we're trying to move everything, everything's so tight and nice and right. We'll put the pads towards the rotors. That's in there all the way. There we go. Everything's good. Now we'll do this bad boy. See, this bad boy goes up against the brake pads to hold them in there. More or less puts a spring on them, so they're spring loaded. It's a very nice kit. I got an issue, and there's probably some people that are watching that pick up on this stuff, that do brakes all the time. This is not what I do all the time, is put brakes together. No, it is not. But after I'm doing it here, it's, you know, it's pretty basic. It's pretty basic, I guess. What I have an issue with is the flex line. As soon as I get this on, I'll show you. We're going to have to, I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. We'll have to maybe get some new flex lines, some longer ones. Should have my glasses on. Come on, baby. I'm not holding my tongue right. Not holding my tongue right. Just need this. Take my glasses, put them on. Just going to be nice to get some chrome shocks on it, or get the shocks on it. It's going to look nice. Really, it's going to look nice. I'll take the other one off. Not right now, but I'll take it off and redo it with the. It's good. It's good. Alrighty. What I got going on here, well, this is my issue. I have some flex lines here. And as you can see, we'll see when we get the airbag on, but this is where my flex line goes in. My airbag is right here. I do not have anything where to put my flex line to on my chassis. It's not long enough. I was thinking about coming out in front of the bag. Just don't know if it's just kind of an issue, because the bag is right here. Yeah, so I'm thinking there's going to be something going on with the flex line. I'm going to have to figure that out. That's going to take a little bit. I'm going to put the airbags on right now. I've got that on there. I just want to wash them off. You know, we might as well wash them off, see where they're going to put them on. I actually asked Jolene, I said, you think I should wash them off? Rip them? Yes. Yes. So we'll just wash them off, make them look a little better before we stick them on there. Get the dirt off them. Jolene said, you got an awful big shirt on this morning. And I said, I'm losing weight, baby. She said, no, you're not. No, you're not. So anyway, she grabbed the tag. I told you it's a large. That's okay. Jolene woke up at 8 this morning, looked like a 10. Jolene looks amazing today. She's got a great smile on. Little ponytail. She's a jet setter, boys. She's a jet setter. So I'm going to put the airbags on, and then we'll see more why I'm going to have an issue with the flex line. And it's okay, because I say it's okay because it's an issue. It's something you have to overcome, and I do not mind obstacles. Do not mind obstacles. It's just something you have to overcome. I wished that it wasn't that way, but it is. Alrighty. These just bolt up from the bottom and then nut it on the top. That's basically all it is. And I can squeeze these down so we don't get any scratchy poos. And I know exactly where it goes because there's a pin on the top. It's pinned on the top. There. Got a nut there to hold on. Just nut it on the top. And I would say that is a lock nut because of the simple fact it tightens up real quick, so we won't put any Loctite on that. We got these right here. We'll put some Loctite on this. I think this is what fits that. I got a jack back there to jack that up. I'm going to jack. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull that jack and just jack that up on that side. I'm hoping that that'll work. I've only got one jack stand in the middle of this thing. Probably not what I should have, but that's what I got. That's what I got. Just jack it up so the bag's tight, that's all. I do not want to hit the dust plate. Just want to set it on the rotor. Told you everything's tight. Moving the whole thing, isn't it? Huh? Moving the whole thing. Anyways, moving the whole thing. Some tight. There we go. Now, get my nut, my bolt, put some Loctite. Just glue. That's all basically it is just glue. It's glue. There, hold her up. Actually, I want a washer. Got a washer back here. Sometimes you just gotta hold your tongue right. Here we go. I'm gonna tighten that up. Let's get this back in place. Jack it up a little further. Everything's so tight on this thing. And I can bring that up. Just want to jack it up a little further. There's a little pin on the top of the airbag here, and I just want to make sure it's right. Alrighty, I'm going to get a socket and tighten that one down because the pin's in there. There's a little pin, and I drilled a hole in the top. You can see it's slotted here where that tightens down, but there's a pin right there that goes in the top. So it's pinned right there, so it won't go anywhere. Just wondering if I should have a washer on the top of that or not. Just to make it hold a little better. All the stuff I'm showing you is basically me going through the process. Going through the process. We got some pile of snow out back. Whoa. That washer does not fit. Fits down over that though. Come on. All right, we'll get a little bigger washer. That's how it goes on this stuff, you know. It's just not it's just not you throw it together and it takes a couple minutes. Even though we've had it together. that fits over there nice now. That makes me feel better. Get that down on there, right? It's always good to finger start something before you put the goodies to her. Now I'm going to get a socket. That one looks like, see if I guessed right. There you go. Okie dokie. I'm going to turn the air on. I'm going to put a little bit of power to that. And the simple reason is I think it needs a little bit of power. Let's put the air on. It's Sunday fun day. We're going to get that front end together, get the wheels on it. And sooner I get this chassis put together, then I can, take a break from it and pull the 40 in. We'll dig some snow away there, pull the 40 in, and we'll make a 3-window coupe out of it. And do something a little different for a bit. But it'll be nice to get the chassis together and make it look like something, get it rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Alrighty. I did not Loctite the nut that I just put down on top of the airbag. It's got a lock nut, so we'll just go with that. Just seeing that it won't take some time. We're going to the city sometime soon. Maybe we'll drop into whoop whoop. Beautiful. Undo that just because the air drive you crazy. That is, on what side is that on the bottom? Should we have a 9/16 socket around here somewhere? I did have. I'm not losing no weight, baby?
Maybe.
Huh?
Maybe.
Settle down. She's trying to make me feel good, boys. She's trying to make me feel good. That's all right. I'm going to maybe someday get all these organized and get them in the right place so I can just grab them when I need them. But I'm going by 15. I thought I had a 9/16 socket here on the floor, but that's how it goes right there. I know I did. And the 9/16 is not put back because it's gone. It's gone.
Is it on the
Is it on the... No, that's... Well, that may be. There she be, baby. Thanks, sweetheart. Huh? She's good. She's good. She's better than good. Get the airbags put on this bad boy. Wash it up from underneath with a little Loctite on it. Nice. Don't need to go crazy. Alrighty, got the airbag in it. Alright, this is what we're going to do. We're going to stay right on this side. That's all tight down there. It's all tight there. Just going to make sure I go over everything because there's no sense in me just putting it on halfway. I've done that before. Took a car, just done halfway everything. That means you get, then after you do it halfway or get it somewhat tight, that means you have to go back over everything. I might as well tighten it up as I'm rocking and rolling. And that airbag's going to go on the other side. Keep all the stuff together so I can get it. It's over there. Now we got a shock here. We're going to put a shock on. Let's get some bolts and nuts. Now, I have to get these painted today. And the reason I want to get them painted today, I'm going to have to sand them down and clean them up. And then, there's the one right there, I bet you. It's for the bottom. And I think 2 longer ones for the top. Let's take over some washers. Just because we're going to need them. So I'm thinking 2 for the top. Yeah, that's what we need right there. What I'm thinking. Now I did not bring these in and make that tight because I wanted to leave room for the shock. I've already tried these, but the shock goes up far enough for when the air ride goes all the way down. I tried the air ride all the way down. The shock, this piece here, comes about that far from the bottom of that, and we should be okay. Do you want the writing out or in?
I don't know.
Ouch. Something sharp on that. Wow. Should knock that off. That is sharp. Wow. I know you don't want me to take a flapper wheel to your brand new shock, but I'm going to because there's something sharp on that. So everything's coming together really nice on it. Just basically taking the time, put it back together as nice as we can. And we must realize we're not going to see 90% of it, but I guess putting it back together, you always want to do the best job you can. If you've never built a car this far, it is really fun if you're doing the work yourself and you're not spending a whole bunch of money. But when you start spending a whole bunch of money and do something like this, it can run up there quite a ways. And I was thinking about some of the cars at the auction. You know, the price was hefty, but in all due respect, probably a lot of them didn't come close to what it cost to build them. All due respect. I would say, just for out of, just my opinion, but I would say there's probably, I really feel like some of the cars you couldn't build for the price they paid for them, even though they're $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. There's probably a lot of cars that you could not build. I hate to say it, but it's true. You probably could not build. I need a shim inside that, I'm thinking. I get that one. I'm going to nut it on the outside. I need another washer on the inside too. I know, everybody's thinking, wow, the prices are huge. But when you start running in, you start building a car and buying stuff new, you're talking big money. Big money. I want to turn that. Come on, baby. So I'm going to get what size those are. We'll put this one on the bottom, just to hold it in place. Don't know if I need a washer on that side or not. Paint's got them. Ugh. Get a file, a small file, maybe take off some paint on the inside there. I can't even get that bolt through. Now, would you? I'll have to thank Jack McDonald for that. Bought us those files. I was thinking, where am I going to use them things at? Well, here you go. Some paint off and some primer. Hate to do it to you, baby, but I gotta get that bolt through. Take a little more off. It builds up. It builds up. Look at that now, would you? All the difference in the world. I should almost do the one on the top. I'm just thinking I can beat that through. I'm going to turn it through. That should be fine on that side. Nope. I grabbed the long one, didn't I? Did so. Don't want that one. So, take that back out. That's how it goes. It's whether different lengths. Want a short one on this side. I'll wash it on the other side. Do. I have to get a socket for that. Those are probably 3/4. For that now, would you? Leave that one there because we're going to use it. Hoping that's 3/4. Three-quarter. Get in there. Come on now. Put a nut on it. We'll draw it through, and then we'll put the washer on it. If I can get a washer on there. Just keep drawing it through, I guess. Your car should ride like brand new, sweetheart. Should ride like brand new. Yeah, I'm going to put a little glue on that. A little Loctite. I don't think it needs it, but why not? That's what it's for. Just all it is gluing the nuts on. Washer. It's going to be in there. It's good to me. See if we can get this one bolted through. Nope. Doesn't want to go through. Just going looking at it, see if I can bang it through. Sure. I'll get a little hammer. If not, I got to pull it back out and then put the file through it. Basically, that's what I have to do. Don't want to chip anything. Good thing that didn't fall on the chassis, eh?
Yeah.
Ah?
Yeah.
Falling apart at the hammers, boys. Falling apart at the hammers. Good thing I got two. Just want to hold the other side. That one ain't gonna fall off, is it? Beautiful. You are, Jolene. You're absolutely stunning. You jet setter, you. I'm going to throw a little Loctite on that. And we're going to turn our nut on. See, that's pulling that through or not. Oh, got a red wrench on that. I'm thinking we might just leave it like that. It's tight enough. It's right to the end. Squishing the rubber. All kinds of action. Cool. There we go. Shock on that side. Just looking at it, checking it over. What I just thinking about it, I'm not going to take it out, I don't think. There's no reason to take it out, I don't think. But just pointing it out because I'm thinking about it. I put this one through here, and nuts on this side. Maybe I should have put the nut on that side. You know what I mean? It just that's the difference sometimes. I can take and pull it back out. You want back out and put it the other way? Nuts on that side. You want the nut back on that side? Does it matter to you? What?
Can we switch the bottom one? Or no?
We can switch the bottom one. Is that what you want to switch, the bottom one?
Yeah.
She wants to switch the bottom one, boys. She wants to switch it. I'm hoping that it's not a problem. And I agree with you on that, I guess. But I picked up on it. Just want to. Try to knock that out a little bit. Wow, that's in there. I got that drawled in there, baby.
Okay.
Don't really want to get up against your paint. That's coming out. Take it off, see if we can screw it out. There we go. Put a washer on this side now. And we'll have the flat on the other side. So we won't use a washer on this side. That didn't go so bad, did it?
Oh.
Just trying to keep the socket off your paint. I'm going to get a wrench. Quarter inch. Hold that side and ratchet this side. That way there I don't screw up your paint. Okay. Oh, you like the idea of that, don't you?
Yeah.
Here we go. No paint barked on that side. We get that back in. It's flat there on that side. Usually you wash your nutted side, but that's okay. That's okay. And we'll have to do the exact same thing on the other side. Basically. All right. Something to think about, you know. You do both sides the same. Both sides the same. Basically, that's what I'm going with. Both sides the same. Now we'll get this side on. And then we're on to, well, let's get this done before I take off too fast. Clean this off. Sitting on the shelf, dirty, that's all. Easier to clean this way and then clean them up after. I'm thinking. Man, this thing, the bags are so new, you haven't got the stickers ripped off them yet. So on this air system, this is my plan. This is my plan. It's not going to be going up and down and all that sort of stuff. We did get an air compressor from them guys on the wall. If you want to show, they're from. Where they from?
Australia.
Australia. Oh, we might get to meet them.
Yeah.
Awesome. They sent us a pump. Yes, they did. We might hook something like that up in the car. It will not be to pump. You know, it will not be for making it go up and down. But we might be able to have a pump in the car where it can be there so it can pump air, and we'll have a hose run from it so we can pump it up. So what I'm thinking is I want to have a line come from the airbag. We had a line coming before from the top. A line come from there. We teed it, and then it had an air chuck. I don't know what's it called. There's a name for that. But anyways, what I'm thinking is I would like to have is a line for this side run out, and we might drill a hole in the front of Jolene's car, underneath the headlight somewhere, down the bottom somewhere, or maybe a bracket or something where you can come out and pump the car up if she ever shows it, or she wants to show it, and you can let it down, and then you would pump it up manually, or by the air compressor that you have in the car. Basically is what I'm thinking. And that way there, she's going to have you'd want to know the pressure on each wheel. Like you wouldn't want to put 150 on that one and 90 on that one. You'd want to have, you know, the same on both, I'm thinking. So there's a few things I haven't got figured out yet, but just going with it and figure it out as we go. There's the pin. See the pin? Get her pinned where it's supposed to be. Just gonna leave that for a second. Grab our air, put our power to it. Bring her in place. Come on now. Couldn't leak any worse. Oh, I shouldn't say that because it could. But it's blowing out some dirty ass air, isn't it, baby?
Yeah.
Come on, get down on there, socket. Come on, socket. Can't see the pin. There it is. I want to get that rat socket down on there. Come on now. There we go. Gonna have to fix it someday. Someday. go. I like to have, what's I'm going to do? Grab a little piece of tape and put on the top of those valves because we don't want anything inside there. No tape in there.
I think I put it away.
Okay. That's my girl. Put it away. Just for safety measures, I guess. Just put that on top of there. Alrighty, now we got the bottom to deal with. I'm going to move this stuff here, bring the jack over. Just going to move this stuff back. Mic off. Maybe I'm not losing weight. Not losing weight, boys. Just a picture. Yeah. Just want to get it on the rotor itself. Don't want to get it on the dust plate there, whatever. You can see how tight everything is. Oh, well, the rotors roll good. Everything's tight, that's for sure. Just give the handle jack, please, sweetheart. Just hold that in here. A second. Bring it in a little further. Got a pair of pliers in the way. Go a little further. There you go. Perfect. Good. Hope it's not going anywheres. Another one of these. Some Loctite. I want a washer. Never ends. You get doing something like this, it never ends. Running and getting stuff, trying to find stuff. Easier, just get down. Get down. There we go. Nope, don't like that. Seems cross-threaded, don't it? Sure does. Nah, I don't like that. No, it don't seem cross-threaded, but I'm not sure if I was on my mic or not, or my thing or not, if it powers.
Probably.
What's that?
Probably. You're good.
I'm good. Socket I put somewhere, I know. Had it on the ratchet. Had the ratchet underneath the jack, have I? I took it off. I know I did, and I put it somewhere. I said, I'll pick that back up again. There it is. I need that 3/4 inch. Yeah, it's in there. Good. Okay. down on my thing again. Just want to see if the airbag can. That's fine. It's good. Alrighty.
Check your mic again.
What's that, sweetheart? You want to check it again? She just wants to touch me, boys. She just wants to touch me.
Yeah.
Everything good? All right, time for a shock. I'm going to keep that stuff. Grab a shock, and the bolts are going through this way. And 1, 2. Get enough washers, I'm hoping. Take the hammer in case I need it. Got the file. Sometimes that's how you clean up. You just kick it out of the way. I am going to do a big cleanup here today because I want to make room. We're going to hopefully chop 40 soon. Try to get things rock and roll, make things a little exciting. This is kind of hard to make content, me putting something together, but it is what it is, and it's Jolene's car. Hard to believe that primer and paint builds up. That's why you should always, every time you do a car, you should always clean or take off the edges of the doors, and because the paint builds up on the edges full time, just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what it does. Alrighty. Now I need a shock. So we are going to have to probably hunt around for some longer flex lines and see how we can get that past the airbag. Yeah, because usually the caliper would be on here, then the flex line could just run back there. Not an issue. But now that we've got the calipers on the front, that's the only where they're going to fit, because the arm to reach the rack and pinions on the back. And it does not matter where the calipers on the front of the wheel, does not matter, still have brakes. It's just with the root of the flex line. Alrighty. Put a top one on first, we put that through. Get a washer. That fit better, didn't it? That fit better. Just let it drop in place. We'll get another washer. Ugh, that doesn't look like it's going to be easy to get in there. A little preparation on doing that. Look how nice that went compared to the other side, eh? Now, got to take this back off again. The writing's on the inside of the shock on that one. Do the writing on the inside of this one. What I mean by the writing on the shock, I can see it on that side. I don't know if it makes a difference or not. It doesn't not make a difference. It's just whether it matters to you or not. And where we're building this car for Jolene, I may as well make it all the same everywheres. Why not? That's what I'm thinking. Now we're talking turkey, aren't we, baby? Now we're talking turkey. I'm going to put the bottom one in. Wash it on this side. And we can tighten it up together. There we go. Now, just leave that like that for a second. Get some Loctite. Get our wrenches and our socket. Our wrench. Nope. Take that back off. What did I forget, honey?
Washer.
You got her. I forgot a washer. Gotta do the exact same thing on both sides. I know that it does not look like it's got enough travel there for that to go all the way up, but it does, because I tried it. I tried it. Just going to the end of the nut on that one, like on the other side. Alrighty, we have Jolene's front end, probably it's 80%. Airbags are in. Shocks are on, control arms are on, all the brakes are on. I'm going to have to hit my local Napa store up to maybe get some longer flex lines. Maybe I can get some longer flex lines to come in around here. Shouldn't be that hard, I don't think. See what happens. Or I can come in through here maybe. Not sure. Don't know if I want to go around the shock. It'd be nice if I could go around this area. Go around the airbag there. See what happens. I got the shocks on. Now you can basically see what it's looking like. And there's a lot of dust on it right now, but that does not matter. It's going to get dusty as we do it. Just going to stand back and take a visual of it. Oh yeah, that's what I want to do, isn't it? The whole video, so you can see the wheels fit. And the reason I want to see if the wheel fit because of the calipers. Did not try them yet. I swear on my. I'm not swearing on nothing. I didn't try them on. So my word's good enough. I think they're going to be all right because these are made for the newer. These are. I shouldn't say anything yet. All right. Got a couple nuts right here. Just come on the back side and look on the calipers where you want to look, sweetheart. We're good. I say we're fantastic because these wheels are meant. They nowhere close.
Nope, you're good.
Good. That's what I was wanting. Cool. Now where's your gloves? Good. They were made for a newer car, so you know how the newer car would have the disc brakes on the front? Awesome. So now we'll get some, we might just put the airline on like it was before, run the T, put a little air to it so it sits up on its own. I have to get the back, what you call them yesterday, trailing arms, get the trailing arms painted for the back of that. I'm going to have to wind out a few holes there. Everything's going really good. Everything's got Loctite on it. The only thing that I'm not liking is the flex line for the front caliper. That's the only thing I'm not liking. And we'll deal with it somehow. I'm hoping maybe we can get it to come out and around here. We don't want it rubbing up against the airbag at all. We don't want it rubbing against anything, to be honest with you. But if we can get a long enough one that comes out around there, maybe here somewhere, that'd be fantastic. And this one's not going to do it. I almost could make a bracket. And then I'll have to know by turning the wheel will tell me whether it will or whether it won't. So that's where I'm going, not turn the wheel right at the present moment, not going to get into that, just going to get it rocking and rolling. It's Sunday fun day. The wheels are going to fit the calipers, yes, yes. It's looking really good, looking really good. So basically she's got everything brand new on the front end that I would desire. You got a brand new bottom ball joints. We got those in yesterday. Those went good. Brand new ball joints on the bottom, brand new ball joints on the top, new airbags, new rotors, new calipers, new pads. It's going to have new flex lines, new shocks. You know, basically we're trying to build a safe car. We got some shocks we can put on the back yet. We got the airbags going back. We got to get the trailing arms painted so the rear end stays in place. I don't want to do that until we get the rear end to stay in place. We get the trailing arms painted. That'll probably be tomorrow. I have not pumped up the airbags on the back yet. I have not done that yet, so I do not know. And that's why I did the adjustment on the back trailing arms. I want to be able to adjust that pivot point here. So when it goes up in the air, when it comes back down, I know what the pivot is and it's not going to affect anything. I don't think it's going to. We've got the rack to put on yet, so I got to get some new tie rod ends. The rack goes here and connects onto the steering arms. We'll have to get some new tie rod ends. Looks good. This car is much wider in the front than it is the back. I think that in the front, this car is, I could put on the front wheel and probably tell you, but the front wheel, I think it's probably, I'll let you know later when I put the wheels all on it. But right now I'm just going to let it ride like this, take a gander back at it. Everything's looking amazing. All the bolts are in the right way. We have to clean the rack up and get that in place. The rack comes out here, and it's not going to affect the shock. Already tried that. So flex lines are my issue right at the present moment, and the bracket to hold where the brake line goes in. So the flex line is going to come to the chassis, and then it's stationary there, and then you get your hard line. So your flex line is for your wheel because it moves, and your hard lines are for your chassis. We've got to run all new brake lines for this. We've got some stainless steel clips or hold downs for the brake lines. Alrighty, let's give away a hat or a shirt. It's a hard thing to do is put together something like that. Why someone's watching, I guess, or not someone's watching, but it is what it is, you know. If I made a boo-boo or you've seen how I changed the bolts at the bottom, it is what it is, you know. When you're putting something together like this, you do the best you can and try to pay attention the best you can. And if it's not going together right, well, then you just figure something out how to get it to go right. As like I put the shock on, I knew that writing was on the inside. I must change the writing on the other side. I would never want the writing out on one side and in on the other side. And the bolts, I want them all going the same way. And when you build your car, I suggest you try if you want to. I guess it doesn't matter if you want to put a bolt this way and one bolt that way. It's fine, but I generally like to keep it all, what's that called?
Symmetrical?
Symmetrical. Everything the same on both sides. So I got everything symmetrical on this car right now. I think I've got everything symmetrical, everything all the same. All the bolts are going the same way, all the same washers in the same spot. Yeah. Yeah, it's looking really nice. I can't wait to get the chassis done and just push it in there for a little bit, just to get away from it a little bit. It's kind of a tedious kind of a thing. We'll end up pulling the 40 in. We'll do a little chop job on that, make it look like something, and then I'll be rejuvenated to go back at this car. That's what I'm going to do. Elvis is kind of sitting for a little bit. I'll play with it here and there, but let's face it, our main concern is this. Just want to get away from it for a minute or two. And today, the big chore is to get the trailing arms painted. That's what the chore is, to get the trailing arms painted. I got to take all the rust off of them and get them in there and get them painted. And how I'll do it exactly the same way I did the wheels. I'll sand them down, get them cleaned up. I'll epoxy them, and then go right in and paint them. I'll use the small gun. I don't think there's anything else I need to paint on this chassis right at the present moment. I think it'll be all done after I get that done. I noticed I got some holes I have to chew out on the brackets down here. My holes were not big enough. I'm going to have to chew them out. That's going to be not fun, but that's part of the job. All right, let's give it halfway, sure way. Let's do it. The wheels are going to fit the calipers. Whoop, whoop. Got 3 wheels on her, baby. She's the 3-wheel buggy. She's the 3-wheel buggy. Who's going to be the big winner today of some Hiltz Auto Co gear? The snow that we got here is not really snow. It's like packed in dirt, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard as a rock. I tore the front, I don't know, valance pan, or not the valance pan, the front pan there on the bottom. It's kind of like I ain't got the word for it right at the present moment, but it's on the bottom of the bumper. Geez, I thought I'd come in and drive in 4-wheel drive through the snow. Nope. Nope. It's just like grains of dirt that are packed in, but it's white. It's so hard.
504 comments.
504 comments. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate anybody who puts in a comment, gets a chance to win a hat or a shirt. And Ronald Neil Schneider. Mm-hmm. Ronald Neil Schneider gets a hat or a shirt of his choice. We appreciate it. Talking about safety, ear protection. Showed it for the soon to be deaf. Hope not. Hope not. But I do wear ear protection sometimes. Yes, I do. When I worked at the chicken plant, I wore ear protection. I hung chickens for a lot of years, and I hung chickens and I wore ear protection. And what I didn't like about the ear protection is we had the ones that turned in, or just the ones that we put in the holes of the frame, and you would get sores in your ears after a while. I guess that's not a reason for me not to wear ear protection, but that's what I remember about ear protection. But I will wear ear protection a little more. Ronald Neil Schneider, and thanks for your concern. And I generally, if I was losing my hearing, I'd probably throw them on. But I guess it's probably too late once you lose it, I suppose. But thanks for your concern. We'll do the best we can. And you want a hat or a shirt of your choice. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully we can get that stuff painted, get the rear end on it, and soon get that thing rolled in. Just get out of my way for a little bit and not think about it. Just for a little bit, maybe a week or so, and then we'll get back on it. All right, have a good one, everybody.